I'm Jeffrey. Welcome, if you're new here. Try to delve into the details of your life in order to discover your true power. The universe will lead you to your higher power. Believe it and watch the video.
When you feel gratitude and appreciation and love and kindness and care, your heart starts beating in rhythm. It starts beating in a coherent pattern. When you start getting beyond matter and bodies and people and things, and you take your attention and you open your awareness to space, to nothing, the brain gets super coherent. We've measured it thousands of times. And so we just got better at teaching the process, and our students can create brain coherence and change their brain waves in 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 9 seconds, 12 seconds, 15 seconds. They just know, it's a skill. They know how to do it. And when I say go into heart coherence, they know how to do that. They can do it for 45 minutes. And why is it important? Because so many times in our life we go unconscious and we disconnect. And when the heart is beating coherently, it produces a measurable magnetic field that can be up to 3 meters wide. That's a magnetic field that allows you to begin to spread your energy. Mm-hmm. And that energy is a frequency, and frequency carries information. And now that energy can carry the thought of your abundance. It carry the thought of your wealth, because all thoughts have a frequency. You can't, the emotion of guilt, the energy of suffering cannot carry the thought of abundance or health, because it's not the same energy. And just like you could say, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy with your conscious mind, and if your body's been emotionally conditioned into unhappiness or pain, that thought never makes it to your body, and there's no connection between the mind and body. So when people elevate their emotional states, like in a state of gratitude, the emotional signature of gratitude means the event has already happened. It means when you give thanks, you're getting something. So when you start giving thanks, your body's in a perfect state of receiving. So we want people to change their energy and to create this heart coherence, and we want to measure them. We want to know that we can say to them, you're doing it or you're not doing it. So we measured the energy of the room, because we started seeing people saying, wow, the energy is incredible. In so many of our events, in the 19 different advanced workshops we did in the last 5 years, the energy in the room has always gone up. We measured the energy around people's bodies. If you're freeing your body from the chains of those emotions that keep you anchored from the past, you should go from particle to wave, from matter to energy, liberating energy and freeing your body. So we measured the energy centers of the body, because we teach our students that each one of these energy centers are centers of information. They have their own frequency, they have their own intent, they have their own consciousness, they have their own glands, their own hormones, their own chemicals, their own individual little brains, and they're under the control of the autonomic nervous system. Mm-hmm. So people have to learn how to change their brain waves to get into their autonomic nervous system to begin to reprogram these different energy centers. And I thought, well, people are healing, but let's find the instruments to show us that those changes are actually scientifically based. So we found an instrument in Russia, and we measured thousands of people's energy. We also have done measurements on immune regulation, and we found that just a few times a day, 10 minutes a day for 4 days, just elevating your emotional state will strengthen your immune system by more than 50%. We have the science to prove it. And we've measured genetic changes. We've measured 7,500 different gene regulations, and our students have changed their genetic expression in 4 days. Genes that downregulate tumors and cancer growth, genes that are responsible for neurogenesis, not just making new connections, but the growth of new neurons in response to novel experiences and learning. The gene that stimulates or downregulates oxidative stress and begins to cause the body to move back into balance, anti-cancer, anti-aging, anti-heart disease, anti-stroke, anti-neurodegenerative. The gene that activates stem cells to go to damaged tissues and repair them. The gene that activates microtubules. The microtubules are the skeletal structures of the cell that vibrate and emit light, coherent light and information. And when cells are diseased or out of balance, those different harmonics are causing the cells to emit different frequencies, and the frequencies can't carry the information, and that's what causes the cells to begin to break down. Well, we now know that the microtubules, the gene when the microtubule gets signaled, that they're resonating at a greater frequency. And so our most recent research was measuring telomere lengths. And telomeres are the little DNA shoestrings that every time a cell divides, it gives up a little of that shoestring. And so the body begins to biologically age. So my question was, could we reverse that? And so we randomly selected 32 people. We asked them to do meditations for 5 to 7 days for 60 days. And 74% of those people had a change for the better in their telomere length. We had 40% have a significant change. We had 23% have a dramatic change. In other words, they got a certain percentage of their life back. The telomeres were actually lengthening. And one lady, we measured the telomeres at the beginning of the event. 4 days later, we measured the telomeres, and we measured the telomeres 60 days later. The scientist said to me, you're not going to see any changes in telomeres 4 days later, because telomeres, as I understand, it's like hair or fingernails. They take time to grow. But I said to the scientist, well, we're witnessing people get their hearing back in one meditation.
Really?
Not once, not twice, not 3 times. We have people with skin rashes come out of a meditation and the skin rash is gone. And they're getting a biological upgrade. So I said, well, if it's happening in no time, it's not a Newtonian phenomenon. It's not matter changing matter. Like, we're talking about energy changing matter, which is a quantum phenomenon. And I said, if that's happening, is it possible that their telomeres could lengthen in a very short amount of time? And he paused for a long time, and then he said, I think it is possible. I said, well, I'm willing to spend the money to see if it's true. And we had one lady lengthen her telomeres in 4 days, which is really, really significant.
Wow.
So I gathered all this data, and I wrote a book called You Are the Placebo, Making Your Mind Matter. And I had thought, well, hell, if you understand the science of the placebo, giving someone a sugar pill or a saline injection or performing some false surgery or procedure, a certain percentage of those people will accept, believe, and surrender to the thought that they're getting the real substance or treatment, and they begin to program their autonomic nervous system to make the exact pharmacy of chemicals equal to the substance they think they're taking. Now, that's not light dinner conversation. That means then that pill, which is an inert substance, is a symbol that represents a possibility in the quantum field. And they begin to think about that possibility called getting well. And a certain percentage of those people will begin to feel optimistic, enthusiastic, excited, inspired, and they're combining a clear intention with an elevated emotion. And they're beginning to reprogram their autonomic nervous system. I mean, think about it. Over 80% of people that are in a depression study, brain scans before and after, 80% of those people have a significant change equal to people that are actually given the real substance. The people that are given the placebo, that means 4 out of 5 people are responding to the placebo just like an antidepressant. The brain scans at the end of 60 days show a dramatic change in their brain. That means they're making their own pharmacy of antidepressants by thought alone.
Yes.
So I thought, well, once I understand the dynamics, the science of the placebo, can I teach it? Well, it turns out that our students are able to do it because you don't need the sugar pill or the saline injection to combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion. Instead of selecting a known like a pill, select an unknown in the quantum field and keep revisiting it until you biologically make it known. And do it over and over again until you begin to program the gene to begin to express itself.
We hope you enjoyed the last 15 minutes with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts, as well as your valuable feedback in the comments section below. Just do it, because we truly appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss our